Whee! Welcome back with me, myself, and I, Simon, to the coziest part of Soul Brothers podcast, our little market section, prices, charts, and technical analysis. That's what we're going to kick off with today, and I'm going to run you guys through what's happening on the charts because we're still going down and we don't know when the price is going to go up or if the bear is here or if not, and everyone is a bit confused. But honestly, it's nothing new. And I can't emphasize enough that I'm still so bullish because left and right, we have bullish news when it comes especially to Solana. And we're going to talk about all of that as well this week in other episodes. But it's not being reflected in the price chart yet. And that tells me that there's opportunity in the market. Or I'm stupid and I'm very wrong, which is also an option. But either way, let us switch over to the chart and take a quick glance here at what is happening. And I want to start again, as I do sometimes, with Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin is leading the market. It is highly correlated with Solana, and I can actually prove that to you. If we overlay Solana to the Bitcoin chart, I don't even have to do that. Honestly, you guys know when Bitcoin goes up, Solana goes up, every single candle, you can see that. There's a big correlation, which is, by the way, why we need alternative assets on chain as well, like reward assets that you can actually hedge, because right now everything moves in the same direction that you can trade on chain, which is an inherent problem of DeFi. But that's a different story. Right now, Bitcoin has significantly broken the 55-week simple moving average. We are currently sitting at $92,000 on the Bitcoin chart. I'm looking at the weekly price here right now. And we can see one thing that sticks out to me looking at the Bitcoin, and that's the only thing I really want to talk about today when it comes to Bitcoin, which is the relative strength index down here. The RSI is a fairly simple indicator that you can use in technical analysis to see when the market is overheated or not, right? And overheated is usually happening above the upper boundary, which is at 70, an RSI of 70. And then you also have an area where it is oversold, and that is around 30. Historically, Bitcoin has been in an oversold territory on the weekly chart only 3 times, really. Obviously, after its inception, yep, we don't count that, but it's been so far only 3 times down here in the weekly chart in the oversold territory. Okay, so that was back in 2014, obviously, in 2018, and then again in 2022. That must have been, it wasn't COVID. Actually, COVID wasn't even an oversold territory. But that means the RSI oversold on the weekly chart is very significant. Are we going to see that now? I don't think so. Personally, I don't give any financial advice here, but I don't think we're going to see an oversold price, because that would definitely mean deep bear market territory. And again, everything looks too bullish in the outside world. So I don't really see a reason for the RSI to be in such a heavy oversold territory, because that would mean we would have to go down here and retest the highs from 2024 around 60, 78. $70,000 per Bitcoin, which is fairly low. So that would be bear market territory, and I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're gonna go that low yet. But that is just my opinion. What is much more interesting than the weekly RSI chart is the daily RSI chart on the Bitcoin, and that for me is such a simple indicator. And people, in my opinion, are not using it, especially creators and YouTubers don't talk about this a lot, because it is not so fancy. It is like a very easy indicator to look at, and people don't think it's relevant. But let me tell you something. Like zooming out here on the daily chart on Bitcoin, we can also see that the price has been in the heavy oversold territory on the daily chart, so sub 30 on the RSI, back here in beginning of this year, so February 2025. And then the RSI did a low down here. The price printed one more low, but the RSI formed higher highs, right? So this is what we would call a bullish divergence between price chart and RSI chart. But my highlight that I want to give here is that after the RSI was in the oversold territory, we turned around, right? At some point, we turned around again, and price went up, and it didn't take too long. Okay. Now let's move a little bit more to the back, and let's see what happened here in end of or mid 2024. That was in August. We printed that. I remember that day as it was yesterday. The beginning of August, we had like some bad news from the Japanese market back then, and crypto crashed. And my last ETH position was heavy underwater back then. I never traded ETH ever again after that. And the RSI hit 26, fairly low as well. And price, well, it went up after this, right? It did again test one more time a lower, like on the price chart, a lower boundary here. It didn't make a lower low, but the RSI was significantly higher. Again, bullish divergence between RSI and price chart, and the price went up. Okay, let's do it one more time and see what happened. For example, back here, we saw RSI make a very low kind of price RSI mark here at 25. Then price made one more low, RSI made a higher high, and we went up again, right? And okay, one more time, just so it is very clear what I'm doing here. Let's go back to 2023 in August, and let's see what happened when RSI hit as low as 20, sub 20, 19 on the RSI chart, fairly low. Price did definitely stay down here for a bit, but RSI went up, and significantly, the price stayed sideways and we went up again. Okay, so long story short, when Bitcoin is in an oversold territory on the RSI and you don't think Bitcoin goes to zero, it is almost stupid not to accumulate spot positions in a DCA. Honestly, in my opinion, if you have the liquidity to do so. Not a buying suggestion, and I don't really want to give financial advice because I'm in no position to do so. But just look back in history, and whenever RSI was in an oversold territory, Bitcoin went up eventually again, and it didn't take too long. So what could happen here next? Right now, and the beauty is, if you combine this with Elliott wave theory, you can actually arrive at some, interesting conclusions. Right now, we're here in this fairly deep pullback from the third wave here to the upside. Could still be the fourth wave. Arguably, probably not. Like the wave count here is a bit messed up. Solana is a bit clearer to me. We're going to look at that now. But anyway, the RSI broke through this resistance here. It tested actually the 30 mark. It goes sub 30, oversold territory, and it turned around from there. Now, could the price do one more low? Yup. Will the RSI be higher than what it was here? Maybe, even if the price goes one more low, and then we go up, or we go up from here because we are already oversold. And the markets are too bullish right now. There's too much going on that is good news in the markets. There's literally no reason for me to tank more than we are right now. And we are oversold here. So long story short, I think Bitcoin is about to turn around. Looking at Solana in the micro count, because that's actually what's most interesting on this day today, on the 20th of November. What is Solana doing? Well, we, I think, completed the third wave here in the larger wave count when the price hit $129, $128. There was the third wave. And inside of that third wave here, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also completed. The fifth wave is down here. Now, after the third wave, what's happening? Sure, a fourth wave. So we need to find some upside momentum again. Fourth waves consists most likely always in an ABC structure. It is a corrective move to the upside, and the ABC can be a little bit messy because the bears are pushing to the downside, the bulls are pulling to the upside, and no one really knows where to go. But if the Elliott wave checks out, and right now it looks okay, then we would see one more low right now, because we literally did what I was expecting it to do. We went up in an A wave to the upside. We went down. The B wave can also overshoot, but we actually found support right here, which also keeps the yellow scenario feasible, which would be that we're actually on our way up right now already. But for that, we would need to see a break that is higher than right now, because we would need to finish this third wave, do a fourth wave correction, and the fifth wave up. So if we see a fifth wave move now here, so one more high, a little bit corrective, and then to the upside, then we're turning around. If we are going down from here somewhere from this region, then we will complete basically the whole full structure here to the downside. There would be one more low, also feasible. So those are the two main scenarios right now. So you can do with that whatever you want. I would be a bit careful again, looking at the structures right now, as we don't have a suggestion or we don't have a confirmation yet that the price is on its way to the upside. If you want to play the safe game, you would actually wait until we see the fourth wave turning around and overtaking the third wave high. And then from there, you have like a more feasible trading setup. So there would be a 1, 2, and then a 3. We would go a little bit higher here. We would retest in a fourth wave correction and be down here a little bit. And then once we break that previous high to the upside, this is where you could then basically confirm a 5-wave move to the upside, and the lower low here would get significantly more unlikely. That's what I'm seeing on the charts right now. I think that is enough for today to give a quick overview on where we are. Solana is trading at $140 as of right now during this recording. And it can turn around really quickly because this week stays interesting. We had FOMC meetings yesterday. They were kind of boring. There was nothing that we didn't really expect coming out of there. But the week is not over yet. So we still have some job data from job markets that usually indicates as well what the Federal Reserve will do next when it comes to decisions of interest rate cuts. So I think that is the technical analysis and price talk for today. I hope you learned something. Make sure to follow our YouTube account, subscribe to it, like the video as well, share it with your friends if they have no idea what's happening to the price and they want to know where we're going, then they might want to check that video out as well. And make sure to watch our other clips that are diving more into the news and into what else we got for you. Cool. All right, guys. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Really, Nick? Oh, damn. Let me just check something. I'm in a live stream, but there was one episode. Okay. Yeah, I think I wasn't sharing my screen probably because I am sharing only my... Oh, yeah, I'm sharing only my browser. Nice. Okay. Hi, live stream. There was the technical analysis, but I think probably that won't work out for YouTube because I don't have any pictures. Okay. All right. That's all right. I was yapping for 10 minutes for nothing, but that's okay. We're going to do the next one, which is we're going to dive into macro market news. That's going to be a short one today, I think, because I don't have too much to yap about on that front. Actually, yeah, let me skip that now and let me do just Solana news. And then I'll see if I do something else later when it comes to TA and macro and shit. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Soul Brothers with myself, Simon, today, where it is my job to throw you in the Solana rabbit hole, show you around in our exciting ecosystem, because our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest in the Solana ecosystem so that you run never out of things to talk with your friends. Awesome. Now, I got a few Solana news for you, and the biggest one today is probably that we have a lot more ETF announcements. So we're going to talk about Solana ETFs today. I'm going to tell you which ones are live again. We also have a few product announcements in Solana ecosystem that we're going to dive into. Phantom launched something really cool. MonkeyDAO is making waves again with some innovation on Solana. And we do have some Solana dev and infrastructure updates as well that we can touch on. And the biggest news of today, obviously, is the Solflag card, which is finally here. Solflag card is live, and I'm going to show you how it looks like. Besides that, we also going to talk a little bit about some news from SNS and from Flash Trade later on today as well. But let's start with ETF news. So we do have a lot of new filings, actually. I think now the wave is on. The SEC is in the ETF season, in the Solana ETF season. It opened the ETF season because I think all the insecurities have been removed from the legislation. So people actually know what they're doing when launching ETFs. The floodgates have been opened. So we do have TSOL from 21 shares, which is a new Solana ETF. And it is now available for trading. The ticker of this is obviously TSOL. And yeah, I think this is probably one of the, it's one of the 3 ones. And before that, last week, we already had a few other ETF launches as well. And the next one that has been announced as well is Fidelity. One of the largest asset managers has also launched the ETF right now, which is FSOL. And that ETF is also trading. Again, huge news. Solana main account is definitely reposting these things like it's hot bread. And then the next one, we have VanEck as well with a Solana staking ETF called VSOL. And they are all live right now in trading. They can be acquired on exchanges, in the public markets. Guys, we are making history here. I don't think it was really feasible 2 years ago. No one has thought about that. Last year, we have been only thinking about the potential of an ETH ETF. Bitcoin ETF was on the, obviously still, I think, nascent, the idea to it. And now we have a Solana ETF. It's the third time, actually, that a cryptocurrency has an official ETF from multiple issuers here. And I think this is huge. Also, the promo video of the VanEck Solana ETF is what's the deal with Pudgy Penguins and VanEck? Honestly, there must be some deeper meaning. Another Pudgy Penguins banger, says the VanEck account. So yeah, shout out to the Fanek intern, definitely having fun here. I've seen Fanek talk a few times on stages a long time ago already, and they have been always very, very crypto friendly and pioneered a lot of things. I think this is another statement because if you look at the other launches, obviously Fidelity's Solana ETF is live and T-Sol is now available, nice little logo, but Fanek kind of stands out. They have a Pudgy PFP, they have this little meme video. They basically, it looks like they launched a token, but it is an ETF, an exchange traded fund on exchanges. So what does that mean for Solana? I mean, you guys already know what this means. It means more liquidity flowing into our asset. And that is buying pressure on the open market, not only from people that click the button on Trade Republic, but also from asset managers and from pension funds and from 401ks and from basically everyone that wants to plug in crypto assets and not only Ethereum, but also an alternative to Ethereum into their long-term investment plan. And there will be hundreds of thousands of people in the next time that have monthly saving plans with capital flowing into Solana through one of these vehicles. Pretty insane if you think about it. Cool. So those are ETF news that we have touched on for today. I think definitely some really big news, and I'm happy that we're there. But this is something outside of the Solana bubble. But inside of the Solana bubble, we also have some really good news for you guys. And I am talking about nothing else than the Phantom Terminal. Meet Phantom Terminal, your new platform for pro-level trading on the web. So Phantom, definitely an OG in the space, the most used wallet arguably in crypto. They managed to just break through all the noise during every single market and make especially during the meme craze, make the normal people sign up to crypto via Phantom. It is like, this is one of these products where a lot of people that actually use Phantom have no idea what's happening in the back, which is great. They don't really understand crypto. They don't really understand what all these tokens are. They don't know what exchanges really do, but they have the Phantom app. And then you tell them about a ticker and you tell them, hey, you can buy some cloud or you can buy some solid. And they're like, hey, where can I buy it? On Phantom? And then you're like, yeah, sure, buy it on Phantom. But it's not, they say it like it's an exchange. What does it mean? It means that a lot of normal consumers are using Phantom just to tap into crypto. Like it's literally their first touch point with cryptocurrency. And now Phantom is on this huge journey of just onboarding new product suites into their, or new products into their product suite. And it makes a lot of sense what they do, right? So they did leverage trading first via Hyperliquid. Then they also tapped into the stablecoin market with Phantom Cash very recently. And now we have Phantom Terminal. You can trade smarter with advanced charts, real-time data, and ultra-fast execution. With your positions synced to mobile, you can manage trades anytime and anywhere. So that's actually really cool. I mean, obviously you need it on mobile, because I do think that the majority of Phantom users are actually using mobile and not desktop, not the extension. I'm fairly certain on that. And it looks neat as well. It is obviously direct competition to everything we have already on Solana. Juke Pro exists already since a while. Similar trading dashboard. We have OGs on the block like Deck Screener and like Bird Eye, but a lot of people don't really use that to trade. Juke Pro, I think a lot of people use to trade. The biggest market share right now, I think, still has Axiom. But it seems to me like this is supposed to onboard some of the new people as well into trading. Is that good or bad? I don't know. For the industry, it's probably good. But yeah, I think it looks definitely interesting. What are some of the features here? Thousands of markets, one interface, trade memes, trending tokens, and perps from one user-friendly interface. Fluid, responsive design. Okay, that's cool. Lightning fast execution. That is important. Sub-second execution and ultra-low latency. Well, only possible on Solana. Pro tools, less clutter. Trading view charts with drawing tools and indicators. That's what we want to see. Trade anywhere, stay in sync. It is fast, it's fluid, and with synced position. So pretty cool. I mean, again, like I said, I'm happy that we are seeing Phantom cooking new things, because they are definitely onboarding new people to Solana and make them use our beloved ecosystem more and more. But let us move on to some more news from the Solana ecosystem, from some builders in the space. And I am talking about none other than MonkeyDAO. And MonkeyDAO has announced something. It seems like an announcement of an announcement. It's not really the full thing yet. I do have some insider information that I won't share with you, but it is almost time to come home. Don't forget, we're all monkeys together with Eat with Nomu, which is Nomu. Let's return to Origin. Join the waitlist. What does that all mean? No one knows. There's a waiting list that you can sign up to. So the Twitter post links to a waiting list. It says Monkey and Nomu collaboration. Crypto moves fast. Icons last forever. Interesting. And it says see you at Breakpoint. So it looks like we're going to learn a little bit more about what this is about when Breakpoint time is coming. But what I can tell you is that we do have Nomu, and we know what Nomu is doing. And this might be something interesting together with Nomu when it comes to products, because that's what Nomu's doing. They're helping communities, or basically everyone, to create products, physical products that you can order and wear and use, and whatever the product is. And then everyone who buys the product creates revenue, and some of that revenue flows back to Nomu token holders or OG NFT holders. Because the OG NFTs give a lifelong privilege, get exclusive access, perks, and rewards from Nomu. So those are actually all sold out. 1,000 of them have been sold out. They're right now sitting at 2.4 Sol. I think 2 Sol was the initial mint price. In this market right now, it's pretty good. And I think they give some elevated. We can actually check that out here. The OG NFTs is the first and only NFT collection created as a thank you to our early supporters. It's a membership badge unlocking community perks, early access, and permanent VIP place in Nomu's journey. So I believe that if you are one of these holders, you do get kind of early access to some of the products and drops and so on. They say exclusive drops. So that's cool. And then the Nomu token, though, is, I think, the centerpiece of everything, because the Nomu token is also what will be used to accrue the revenue share from all these collaborations. So if Monkey would be to do something with Nomu that includes products, I believe there will be some sort of buyback mechanism from product sales into Nomu token. And that's how the token creates demand as well for itself. So interesting project, and I'm happy that I can see two legends working with each other. So MonkeyDAO, obviously, we all love him, and Nomu team is also definitely big fan, and good people. And Nomu seems to be helping Monkey to innovate a little bit on Solana. So shout out to that collab, really cool. I'm happy to see that these champs are cooking together. Now, moving on, I got one more Solana ecosystem news for you, and this is more of a technical upgrade, I would say. And it is about Surfpool. Surfpool is now officially included in the official Solana dev stack. What is Surfpool? It's a local development tool that simplifies Solana development by automatically loading programs and accounts from a cluster. Use the Surfpool CLI to start a local validator for testing your programs and transactions. So what does it do? It could help to get a 66% increase in Solana's network capacity. I think that's actually a different piece of news. But for Surfpool, I think we all love whenever we get some upgrades from the infrastructure. This is more like a piece that will be exciting for our devs. And it's been around already since a while, Surfpool. Everyone could use it. But now it is integrated into the official Solana stack. So now you can actually find it in the docs on Solana.com. And it can help especially new people on Solana to test and play around with their new innovations on Solana. And then the other piece of news that I just front ran a little bit is 66% increase in Solana's network capacity, higher transaction per seconds is hiding in plain sight. Solana validators opt into XDP now. Yeah, I think we're getting faster here on Solana. I feel like every single month we get some updates, how to increase latency and reduce bandwidth on Solana. And this is coming from Ansa, and it's an Agave, which is one of the validator clients on Solana. It's an Agave update. And they announced a little setup guide where they show how to enable the XDP, which stands for Express Data Path in Agave. And this will probably help to validators to be more efficient. And I think that is definitely something that should be looked at from everyone that is running developers on Solana. So I'll definitely also shoot this over to my validator operator to see if that is something useful for us as well. But we all love Solana upgrades because what makes the chain faster makes the chain better. So that's great as well. Awesome. Now, checking in with some big news from partners. And I think actually I wanna start with the biggest news of it all, which is the Solflare card, which is finally here. Solflare card is there. We've been on the waitlist stage for probably longer than 1 month. And now the wait is finally over. Solflare, the Solana wallet, launched its crypto debit card. It is out. You can get it. You can order it. And they announced this actually just like, not even 1 day ago, half a day ago. This was dropped on Twitter. Most crypto cards come with trade-offs, custodial risk, delays, and hidden fees. But with Solflare, you got self-custody because you actually have one of your Solflare wallets in your Solflare wallet extension or your mobile app that is dedicated to the card, and you can just transfer your funds from any of your other Solflare wallets to that wallet, or you can get paid directly on that wallet. And whenever you tap with your Solflare card or withdraw cash with your Solflare card, it is directly deducted from your non-custodial Solflare account. So it kind of gives you direct access to your money without giving your money to anybody else. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first time in history that I really see this in a large scale as easy as this happening. There have been some experiments on Ethereum before with, I think, who was it? You might remember it. I forgot. But there were some already 1-2 years ago that started to do non-custodial cards somehow, but it was fairly clunky, Ethereum style. And at Solflare now, it's so easy because Solflare app by now feels like a fintech app. It feels like I could give it to a normie and he knows kind of what's going on, which is really good. And now with the card, you have your money not with anybody else. It is literally, if you write down your secret phrase and obviously keep it somewhere hidden, very safe, then your money is always with you. Doesn't matter what happens to your phone. Doesn't matter what happens with the world. Doesn't matter if there can be world war. There can be some virus going on. There can be a global shutdown of banking rails and financial system collapses. But you kind of still have your money because you have your secret phrase, which is the beauty of crypto. And as long as MasterCard rails are alive, you will still be able to spend it because no one is going to shut down your Solflare account because it's literally not possible. You can just take your secret phrase and put it in your Solflare wallet whenever you lose your device, right? So I think this is really, really cool. Maurice is saying, huge step forward for self-custody, huge step forward for Solflare, and huge step forward for Solana. Simply huge. Love it. So yeah, guys, I think this is your call to action to check your eligibility now, because if you have been on the wait list, then you should be able to get that card now. I don't know exactly how fast it will be with deliveries and so on. I can tell you that it's only possible with Google Wallet right now, because Apple Wallet is still pending. That's what they say in the post. So yeah, that's all the info I have on Solflare card right now. But really happy that the card is out. So that's really good. Bullish on that. There's one more little nugget when it comes to Solflare. That news definitely is in the shadow of the card launch, not going to lie. But there has been a little feature upgrade again when it comes to the Solflare app, which is also really cool. You can customize your Solflare app. Portfolio widgets. Don't be like Mr. Crocker yelling, fairy godparents. If you remember that show, then yeah, drop a comment. Basically, you can set up your custom portfolio page. You can view everything in one spot, choose what to show and where, add widgets for tokens, NFTs, staking, and activity. So that's really cool. You can just pop up your Solflare app. There's a customize button that you can see. You drag and drop your sections, and then you have your portfolio page in a way arranged that you like it. And you can include the most important tokens for you on that page, so you always have them right in the front, as well as stocks as well. You can disable collectibles if you don't want to see them on the main page, and so on. So just a little nifty upgrade of the app itself, which is always good. Solflare just keeps shipping. Someone else who keeps shipping is SNS. SNS.sol, Solana name service. We have an October-November SNS recap, and it is on Twitter, and we can see what was accomplished from October to November. We have 13.6 thousand new .sol domains registered, which is really cool. We have a lot of claims coming from seeker coupons. That is nice. We have 7 new partnerships, including Helios, MagicSwap, and Icon Shop. Besides that, we have top domain sales, guys. Take a guess what it would be. It is Gengar.sol. Don't ask me. I have no idea. Gengar.sol. We have Lucas.sol. That is actually very good. Straightforward. If your name is Lucas, well, this domain, $15,000. And we have Chat.sol. Chat, not chat, but chat. Not sure. Don't ask me again. But people are paying money for these domains, literally $15,000. A free.sol for seeker owners. There was a campaign that went down last month as well. I think it's still live, by the way. You can get a free 10-character .sol domain inside your SNS app on the seeker. Besides that, we have community votes, referral update approved. New referral tiers are live. I think we touched on this already a little bit earlier. There has been a vote going on, and now we have a new system where you need a little bit less. I think we also have an announcement for that. Maybe let me see if I find it. But we definitely can use the ref program now better, because you don't have to stake so much SNS anymore to get into a higher tier, which gives you higher rewards, basically. So now your .sol just got even stronger. You have regular user, 300,000 SNS holdings, which gives you 2% ref fee up to VIP 3, which is larger than 10 million SNS holdings. I think before that it was 20 or 30 or something, for 20% ref fees. So the more SNS you put into this, into your wallet, basically, the more ref fees you are getting. You don't really have to stake it, by the way. I think you just have to hold the SNS. So yeah, probably the first big SNS vote that actually went through, where a decision has been made, which is also very cool. Okay, now we have one more small news from SNS as well. I think there is a giveaway going on, a Black Friday giveaway. Black Friday may come for wallets, so we decided to fill yours. Celebrate the season with our $500 prize pool giveaway. Register your new .sol between November 17 and 27. That is right now. And all you have to do is register a fresh .sol domain. So you have to sign up to a new .sol domain, comment it on the main post, and add it to your display name on X for a bonus entry, which you can also do. So that's really cool. $500 prize pool where you can win something. If you have been thinking about getting an SS domain, then maybe now is actually the time to do that, because you can take part in the little giveaway at the same time. Now, last but not least, last update from the Solana ecosystem that I got prepared for you is about Flash Trade, and it is just a little reminder that Flash Trade is cooking on new technology together with Magic Block, bringing you effortless trading better than a sex. I think it has been the vision of Flash Trade since a long time, that they want to be more sexy with a C. That's what Anas keeps saying. So basically, it behaves like a centralized exchange, but it is a decentralized exchange under the hood. The perps war is on. There's a lot of perps competing right now for market share on Solana. A lot of great ideas as well, and everyone has the same goal really, which is again increase latency and reduce latency, increase bandwidth. And this is what FlashTrade is also trying to do, and they're working with Magic Block for this, and they're working on a little update with the margin engine v2. Let's check out the clip real quick, what Anna said.
Magic Block Hacker House Marathon.
Yes, the whole team at FlashTrade and the teams at Magic Blocks have FlashTrade app working on Magic Blocks engine, fastest decentralized exchange, fully on-chain, gasless, no latency, transactions per second as well. So they would have the same latency that they get on a centralized exchange.
The same latency that they would get on a centralized exchange. So what's coming? 24/5 stocks, major indices and metals, exploring prop AMM pool for Mora assets, margin engine v2 team focus. They are working on spot order book powered by Manifest. I don't know what that means yet. And more forex pairs and degen mode. So basically you can trade more assets with 500x. You will get a faster execution with margin engine. So just a much faster user experience, as well as potentially Remora assets, which are tokenized stocks on a perpetual exchange on Solana. Interesting. Either way, this, ladies and gents, has been your update for the week about some of the news and launches on Solana, so that you know what's going on, because we don't sleep here at Solana. There's always something going on. Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again for this episode of Soul Brothers and getting your rundown on the latest and greatest. And make sure to tune in as well to the next ones. Check out other videos on our YouTube as well. And drop us a like and register or subscribe to our YouTube account as well, because it helps us to grow even faster on our social media channels. Until the next one, thank you so much. Peace out. Cut. I'm still here on the stream. Nick says your screen share is still the StreamYard screen. That was 20 minutes ago. I don't know what that was. Maybe, I hope that was only for a moment and not again for the whole episode, because I should technically, yeah, okay. I should have shared everything. Awesome. Okay. Cool. I will keep it there for now. I have more stuff to yap about. Obviously, if you've been here when I started streaming right now, then you heard me talk about prices, but you didn't see me show it to you. But I won't do it now. I'll do it later, maybe again, but in my privacy without you, because I got something else coming up in 10 minutes. We have an interview, guys. We actually have a really cool interview. I might stay here actually in the live stream. This recording is wrapped for the EP anyway, so I might hang with you guys here for the preparation of the interview. And then we're just gonna do a seamless change into the next show potentially, because I think I can edit the title on the stream. That should be no problem. And then, yeah, I think that should work. And then I'll do it that way. Cool. All right. Thanks, Nick, for taking over the screen shares and preparing our agenda. See you, Nick. If you guys are asking yourselves who I'm talking to, obviously, you know Nick, our legendary analyst, who's making sure that I know what the fuck I'm yapping about in these live streams. But let me tell you, I fucked up the TA section today because I didn't share my screen. Fuck my life. I'll do it again later. GM everyone, by the way. Thanks, Cyber. Cyber says, good one. Thank you, sir, so much. And Joel's also here already. All right. So I will make sure that I am ready for the next one. I'm gonna stop my screen share down here. So we got an interview coming up, guys, with a product on Solana that I think is actually very interesting. And a lot of people don't really know a lot about it yet because they are a little bit secret about what's happening. Don't have a better way to put it, but the cat is not out of the sack yet. I don't know if you say that in English. In German, we have a saying. And we don't really know too much about the product, but we will have an exclusive interview today where we probably learn a little bit something new about it. Now, let me check. Let me check, is everything prepared here? First of all, did my dear friend and intern do his job and post the announcement? No. Awesome. All right, Booby. Let me just annoy my intern a little bit. When are you planning to drop the interview announcement? Because it is in 8 minutes. Great. Working with professionals. Cat is not out of the bag. The cat is not out of the bag. Die Katze ist nicht aus dem Sack. In Deutsch, in German, we say, yeah, Sack. It's technically it's a bag. So I think it's the same fucking saying. I agree. Thanks, Smash Smash. Okay, I'm gonna clean up a little bit my setup here for y'all, and I will make sure to also open the Twitter page of our next guest and the project. Cyber's asking, who are we having for the interview? Well, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it in a few minutes. You're gonna see it in a few minutes. Let me just do some, yep, we'll do. My intern didn't do his job, sorry. Okay, I think you're probably listening to me right now, but I'm texting to you at the same time on Telegram. That's all right. We might do a little reset of the room, of this live stream room. So in like 5 minutes from now, I'm gonna activate again the intro video, and then we're probably gonna start officially with the recording. But yeah. How are you guys doing? How's everyone doing today? Let me know what you're up to and how you're feeling about the markets as well. Are we seeing one more high? Did you guys already give up? Are we kind of in bear market mode now and just building? I think I'm always in bear market mode. It's just in bull market, it feels better. That's the same shit, right? You're kind of doing the same stuff. But it does help the bags, right? It does help the bags. I think Solana is right now, like if we don't, bit off topic, but if we don't turn around right now on the Solana price, around $140, if we break the 140, like there's liquidity where we are right now, then I think we might see that last wave to the downside at some point. But it also depends on the market data. We have job data coming in soon. Anyway, okay. So for the next one, gonna set this up here. And I'm gonna also pull up the product, why not? Let me do that. Yeah, so the project is definitely something that we haven't done so much on Solana yet, like the thing they actually do. I know I keep it a secret here, but I think he's going to join in a moment as well. But I'm gonna open already my application here. Where do I have the link? Here. Let me do it like that. All right. All right. Just gonna enter the app as well. Awesome. Okay. I am ready. Now I just need my guest to hop on. And then we reset the room. We will do a little video again, like the normal one. And then we're good to go. Mm. 10 a.m. UTC. Okay. All right. I think I'm gonna play the video one more time. And then we're starting here. So, okay, let me pull that up. And I hope until then my guest is here. Okay. All right, let's see you on the other side. Welcome to Soul Brothers. With myself, Simon, where it is my job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole, show you around in our exciting ecosystem, and also introduce you to some exciting builders on Solana that are tinkering on interesting stuff. And today, we definitely have very interesting stuff going on that I really are looking forward, that I'm looking forward to talk about. And today on the show, I have a guest that is building a protocol that is doing spot margin trading. And I'm talking a lot about perp dexes. Obviously, we love our friends from FlashTrade that are deeply involved in making perp dexes great on Solana. But I think what Asgard Finance is up to is genuinely interesting. And today on the show, I have Prastut from Asgard Finance. Welcome to the show, Prastut. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, Simon. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and excited to talk more about Asgard with you.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. And also really cool to have you here on the show on Soul Brothers, because I believe you guys are actually very close to some major milestones, announcements, launches. Give us like real quickly the time and place. Where are we right now in the roadmap of Asgard Finance, really?
Right. So the last year, like we raised a small seed round. We're going to announce that soon. Uh, we were building like in stealth with power users, like getting on calls, pitching our thesis, getting more and more power users of DeFi on board. And so far, we have gotten 30 million invested in Solana through Asgard, where people like me, who I thought that I was building Asgard primarily to scratch my itch, and then I found like, okay, there are more and more and more people who think like me, who understand, who are DeFi fluent at this point, and I feel like that population is growing over time with more and more education coming into place, more and more protocols building into the space. So I feel like uh, in the last year we've refined our thesis. We've figured out, okay, what is working, including our like positioning, what's clicking to the users, what's not clicking to the users. So now we're close to announcing Asgard's fundraise plus Asgard's new product that we have been stress testing for a while with our users, and and that's something that's coming in the next couple of weeks. It's back-to-back announcements of like
Nice.
who invested in Asgard, what are they all about, why are we even building this in the first place, and then which I'm going to also talk in the podcast here as well.
Yeah, amazing. How much information can I squeeze out of you today? Like, is there is there a limit of things you can talk about in terms of the new product that's coming up? Like, are we allowed to say what it is? Are we allowed to show the beta of it? Like, what am I allowed to do here without stepping on your toe?
Right. So I think I could give a sneak peek of the product, right?
Cool.
But the perspective would be to like more talk about like why we are building this in the first place. Why does this even matter, right?
Yeah.
And barring the who invested in Asgard, I can talk more openly about, okay, what Asgard is going to be in the future, what we're trying to do, and the kind of like movement that we're trying to create here in Solana DeFi per se.
Cool. All right, cool. So I'm the noob here. Okay, I don't know. I know some things about Asgard because obviously I learned a few things from some of your team members as well, as you know. And I obviously tried the beta and I looked into it. I might say some things that are factual, not correct. So then you have to bring me up to speed. But what I know for now is that Asgard is building a spot margin trading platform on Solana. You want to offer something that's different to perpetual futures, and you have your reasons for it. And maybe that's where I would like to start. I'd like to talk a little bit about the advantages over perps when it comes to what you're really building, and the difference as well for people that are not so deeply involved in the technicalities behind these systems. So I believe there's a lot of users that use leverage trading and they use perps, but they don't really know what perpetual contracts are really. So maybe you could be the perfect fit to explain the difference between what you are doing and perpetual exchanges and some of the advantages as well.
Right. So to clarify, like what Asgard is trying to build, like very succinctly, we are trying to build a platform which allows you to stake structured positions in DeFi, right? And and the first product that we're building is a way to structure positions using credit in DeFi, right? So the perspective is that credit in DeFi is very similar to spot margin in DeFi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like the analogy I like to give to the people is that a home loan can be sort of thought as a leverage trade where you put a down payment and then you borrow 9x from your bank,
Mm-hmm.
and basically you have a
Get a house.
10x position where the home is the collateral and now you're paying the loan over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's never thought of as leverage, but it's like the opposite side of the same coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but with the home, you have the asset, you can live into it, you can productively use it, and similar to what we are doing is that you can, like, the first product that we are aiming to bring to DeFi is credit backed positions, or CBPs for short, that allows you to take like, hey, I have $1,000 and I want to buy $5,000 worth of Solana, and I need $4,000 of loan. Can you just help me in very simply click on a button and then just have a credit backed sole position on Solana or BTC or ETH in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the first leg of the roadmap. The entire vision encompasses like structured positions. I have been formally like very interested in, okay, what is the new things that we can do in DeFi which are not possible in TradFi, right? Because we've
Mm-hmm.
invented new Lego blocks, right? We've invented a
Yeah.
new way of doing things. So all of my curiosity went into like thinking about, okay, what new things can we build, right?
Mm-hmm.
And coming to your question, okay, what's like why is perps, like what's the difference between perps and
Yeah.
credit back positions, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So coming to that, the way to think is that when you're a trader or investor, perpetual perps is short for perpetual future contracts, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's a type of a future contract that is everlasting or perpetual in nature, that it never expires, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in traditional finance, you have futures that get expired over time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you need to
Mm-hmm.
keep rolling it over. But with crypto, with the founder of BitMEX, who invented the primitive, and then
Mm-hmm.
DYDX, Hyperliquid, and Flash Trade,
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter Perps. I for like technicality's sakes, Flash Trade is not proper perpetual future contract. Like it's a way to simulate leverage, right? But it does
Mm-hmm.
the job same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the end user doesn't care about the underlying engine of what they're trying to do, right? With the
Yeah.
asset, right?
Yeah.
So I would say Hyperliquid, Jupiter Perps, Flash Trade, Bullet is coming up, and then Aster,
Mm-hmm.
Lighter. All of these fall into the perpetual future or synthetic exposure kind of contracts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what Asgard is able to build a credit position where you are able to buy more of Solana, buy more of BTC, buy more of ETH uh, on the spot market, right? So these are
Mm-hmm.
real assets. There is no synthetic exposure here.
Mm-hmm.
You basically are buying or selling instead of longing and shorting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the difference comes first from the vocabulary of it. Like, okay, an Asgard, I can buy a lot of Sol, or I can
Mm-hmm.
buy a lot of ETH. Like one analogy that we are trying to run with it is, okay, you can buy Solana at 25% of its price. Let's say you wanted to buy $1,000 of Sol, but you bought it with only $250, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of like a buy now, pay later functionality as well, right? Which you can repay over time. Let's say right now BTC it's at I think 89,000. I haven't checked the markets
Up on
lately.
90 again. Yeah.
90 on that. It's a
Mm.
great price to lock in, but I don't have, let's say my salary is coming 5th of December. I don't have the funds to buy a lot of BTC in size. So let's say I just bought like 5x of my capacity, right? And then I can repay that loan over time, or I can let the appreciation of the BTC asset go over time. So, like the one last liner that we are using for Asgard is own more of what you believe in, which is very different from synthetics because you don't own anything. You're basically owning a derivative or a synthetic contract. So that's like
Mm-hmm.
the layer difference, and then I
Mm-hmm.
can go into more detail of like the nuances differences as well. Like wanting to know some follow-up questions till here, if
Yeah.
any.
Yeah. So just summing up a little bit, I think self-sovereignty is increased in this model, from what I
Right.
hear. It is a
Yes.
more self-sovereign system where you actually maintain custody of the real asset rather than some
Right.
synthetic IOU that you have in the back.
Correct.
So that is definitely a difference. I think I could imagine. Does it have liquidity advantages for certain assets?
Yeah, it's definitely so because you are uh, uh, buying this asset on the Solana spot market, which is with the rise of prop AMMs, at least for market spot, like a spot trade, it's become more liquid than centralized exchanges at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
you're and Solana has like an open loop system that we see. So there's like a lot of economic desires for people going from Sol to USDC or USDT to Sol.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like lending, borrowing. Some people might be meme coin trading. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like economic desires for people to buy sell assets, including like buying assets on credit. In that sense, so I feel like structurally, this open loop system is exponentially getting better over time with more and more protocols building in, more and
Mm-hmm.
more LSTs building in. Like right now, if Sanctum gets better, Asgard gets better because underlying Solana
Right.
gets better in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's a
Speed of
very
DeFi. Mm.
right. So it's like the anti-fragility model where the whole system is getting better versus
Mm-hmm.
when you think of hyperliquid or like any perp venue, they're a close knit system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the beauty of perps and that leads to the curse of perps is that it's an isolated loop system, right? So it's a perfectly like controlled, like you can control all variables of it perfectly
Mm-hmm.
in this tight knit system. But then obviously, like it's subject to market makers providing liquidity. There's not a lot of economic desires other than people doing long and shorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so the
That
difference
makes
comes
sense.
from, right, an open loop and a closed loop system, and
Mm-hmm.
this gets better over time with more and more assets coming into play. Obviously, with hyperliquid, you see like the L1 that bootstrapping with their hyper EVM, and a lot of this
Mm-hmm.
now they're creating an ecosystem apart from perps,
Around.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like structurally right now, uh, in our data, we have seen that buying like taking a credit backed position on Solana
Mm-hmm.
through Asgard is much cheaper from the cost price perspective and
Mm-hmm.
statistically less volatile in terms of because there's no concept of a funding rate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
just a normal borrow rate, and the borrow
Right.
rates in Solana DeFi are at least a 10 to a 15x less volatile as compared to funding rates.
Mm.
And people won't realize this in because it's like a cost that is getting paid every hour in that sense, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
beauty of it would be that if you're taking a multi-day, multi-week, or a multi-month position, nobody in their right minds is using a perp exchange, right?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes the
It's
funding
very
rates
expensive.
can go 300%.
Mm-hmm.
They can
Mm-hmm.
go reverse as well, right? In that
Mm-hmm.
sense. So for a trader who is not day trading the candle, who is not like the 15-minute candle, who is
Mm-hmm.
like just building their portfolio, like, hey, I want to stack in a BTC, Sol, ETH, and I'm just building more of my positions. This
Mm-hmm.
helps you to take a multi-day, multi-week position, and then you
Mm.
know for sure that your costs are predictable, right?
Interesting.
That this is the loan that I have. This is around 10 to 12 to 15%.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can statistically model it from the last year's data as well, that this is how it's going to be. And obviously it matters in the times of like flash crashes, like the 10th October one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the perps funding rate went sky high, like they just got volatile in that sense.
Yeah.
So even if you were in profit, like with ADLs coming into place and like the funding rates going haywire, it might have just like taken a lot of chunk of it
Neutralized.
position, right,
Yeah.
and like closed it down in that sense. But the
Mm.
borrow rates were like extremely stable in that horizon,
Mm.
like at least a factor of, in that moment they were like 30x less volatile as compared to perps funding rates, right? uh
And
yeah.
you could even, from what I understood, that there's a scenario as well where you can actually get paid for having a trade open with
Right,
positive
right, right,
carry
right.
trades. Like how does that even work? Like what scenario leads to this?
Right. So the beauty of DeFi is that you have the core Lego blocks accessible to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you take, let's say, like you wanted to buy a lot of Sol, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had a loan for, like, let's say, for an example, you're buying $100 worth of Sol, and you just have like $50, so you need $50 of loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a choice. Okay, Sol is there, but what is a Sol equivalent that I can buy, which also provides some kind of cash flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can simply buy an INF, which is an NST on Sol, and
Yep.
INF provides at least like 9 to 10% APY, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that 10% APY, that is like you're basically buying that asset, it's giving you cash flows, and the borrow rate is, let's say, at 8%, and the cash flows are at 10%. So
Mm-hmm.
it nets out. So you're getting like paid to take that position.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar
Mm-hmm.
to, like, the analogy what I would get is like, let's say you bought a home using a loan, and
Mm-hmm.
then you rented it out to somebody else, and that rent is covering your EMI.
Yeah. So a lot of
Right,
people do. Yeah, yeah,
right,
that makes sense.
right,
Okay, cool,
right,
interesting. I think that's a very interesting scenario, and I love the fact of kind of money Legos in the way also you
right,
put it in DeFi. I always found it very fascinating, and I saw that it's one of the big opportunities we have because it's like the beauty of it. It is so composable, and
correct,
everyone can plug into it. And I think that is the superpower we have in DeFi, really. And I feel like
right,
Asgard is really trying to build on top of that primitive a lot.
right.
And it's also interesting to see that you guys doing it on Solana. Could you maybe give us like a little bit of context on that front? Because I can imagine that you maybe you had like decisions at some point to make
Right.
where other blockchain ecosystems, especially Ethereum, could also be an interesting place to build this. What brought you to Solana eventually with Asgard, in a nutshell?
Right, right, right. So, some context about my DeFi journey. I have been in
Yeah.
DeFi since 2020. Like I saw the Uniswap V1. Been
Mm-hmm.
deep into the white papers. Then there was DeFi summer that happened on Ethereum, which
Yeah.
basically every day there was some random new protocol launching, and you were like, okay, this is a Cambrian explosion of financial activity. Some good,
Mm-hmm.
some bad, right? But at least there were experiments coming into place where you could see, okay, like the horizon had broadened, right? The genie is
Mm-hmm.
out of the bag, where like tinkerers are coming in and tinkering and launching new things. Obviously with experiments, some blow up, some have product market fit in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, I joined the Polkadot ecosystem, because I felt like Gavin is the CTO of Ethereum, and like he's taking the ideas of how to scale Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like how do you scale Ethereum? And then I joined that ecosystem, and then over time I realized that the ecosystem fit is a bit of like it's very important. Like you can't win these markets just from a technological point of view, because blockchains have monetary policies, and monetary policies sort of become quasi religions at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You have like
Mm-hmm.
this god cult like structures coming into place, like founders looking at messiahs, or like
Mm-hmm.
foundations becoming like mayor sort of environment, right? Like a
Yep.
city state
Yep.
network. And
Yep.
this was before, like, even like Balaji gave the network state analogy in my head, that once
Mm-hmm.
they gave it, so it clicked to me, okay, now it starts to make sense what's happening, like why BTC has some maximalists, and you need maximalism for like in a healthy dose to get people adopting these networks. So I felt like the Solana ecosystem did it really well in terms of building
Mm-hmm.
out both the technology side, which is like a math, IQ, intellectual honesty kind of situation, as well as making it cool and classy and focusing on the
Mm-hmm.
right UX. Like I think the one thing that Solana did really well is Phantom, which people don't really think about. But I feel like the people can't feel a blockchain, right? People can only use something which is a Phantom, or
Yeah.
and the first time that I used Phantom and the transaction that I signed. So in from Ethereum and a Polkadot world, it's usually was like, okay, I can go walk, take a walk, or like sip a glass of water, and there was just like going up, and then it just signed off, and it's like, wow, this is like a Delta 10 experience in my head. And like
Yeah.
Solana didn't need to prove me anything other than just using the product, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that led me to Solana, and then over time, Asgard. When I started conceptualizing Asgard with my CTO Deep, we were like, there are properties of Solana that are so like I would say at the right place, right time. The structures are there in a way. It's designed in a different way as compared to Ethereum. That Asgard is only possible on Solana in the kind of fidelity that we are offering to the user, where
Mm-hmm.
if there is a person who is using this on a centralized exchange like Binance or like Coinbase, or like Coinbase just regulated their spot margin facility in the last, I think, month. And then there are other exchanges coming up with their spot margin facilities as well. So once they notice this, that the trader noticed this, that why is Asgard's spot margin or a credit back position more better than uh, Binance, right? And that Delta 4 is getting added a lot, like 50% from what we have done from a UX point of view, from efficiencies unlocking point of view, and 50% I would give it to Solana because it's just engineered that well that we were at just like lucky in a way of the headwinds that Solana spot market has built for us to be able to like stand on the shoulder of giants and then carry it forward in that sense.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think when you talked about Phantom as well, I was smirking a little bit. I was like, because I just talked about it today in my live stream as well, about how Phantom
Right.
onboarded so many users to Solana simply because no one knows really what happens under the hood. They just
Right.
they just want to buy a token, and they ask me, okay, where can I buy it? On Phantom. And
Right.
that's their place where to interact with crypto, basically. It's not even an
Right.
exchange, but they don't give a shit. Like, they just want to click a
Right.
button
Right.
and get the
Correct.
job done, right?
Get the job.
So actually, that is probably what Solana can do very well. Just get the fucking job done. Like, you want to do something on Solana, it kind of works.
Yeah. I mean, and I think at this point, everybody, like, it's like DeFi, I would say, has had like 6 years or 7 years of like formations. At this point, everybody's bullshit detector is trained to like 9 on 10, right? Like, so the idea that Solana was able to build intellectual honesty in the part of the culture where the founders were like very honest about the problems and the successes, and like instantly like debating, like I think that I'm building a company on Solana right now because Toli tweeted a lot of things which aligned in my head, and I felt like, okay, this is my founder. I like this founder. I like the way he thinks, and then over time, obviously, you get reading, you make up your mind yourself, and then you read the technical stack, you validate everything, and then over time, it's like, okay, like he knows more than me in this area, and now
Yeah.
I've validated this on my own. So now there is no steelman way of the other blockchains that have come up, all right? That okay, there are some advantages, disadvantages of using, like, let's say now Monad is coming, or there is newer L1s trying to compete, but there is a uniqueness to Solana of how they've built it, and it's of very original thinking, and it's a very hardware level thinking which can only be done by an engineer who has done like hardware for the last 10 years, and he was like probably the top 10 or 100 people in the world who could connect the world of hardware optimization and softwares in that sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's a very good way to put it. The kind of why Solana thesis.
Right.
I appreciate that. Going back to Asgard a little bit. I think one other feature I just wanted to highlight real quick and get your explanation on what this really means is the ability to trade so many different new pairs as well on
Right.
leverage as well, which is
Right.
something that is actually a unique selling proposition that you probably
Right.
only have on Asgard, isn't it? Like, because
Right.
give us a bit more color to that topic. Like, why can I trade so many different assets, and what can I trade on Asgard technically, and how
Right.
does that work?
Right. So because Asgard is plugging into the spot market of Solana, right?
Mm-hmm.
The possibilities of what you can do with the assets on chain increases 1,000 folds as
Yes.
compared to right, a perp venue which only uses USDC as their base, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and so what allows like the pairs that you can do are very simply that, hey, I am on, let's say, there are people who are swing traders or momentum traders or like scalpers or like somebody who's just doing rotation strategies. Like, oh, I know BTC has peaked, so now it's going to rotate in ETH, or like the
Mm-hmm.
Solana's momentum is going to eclipse BTC right now. So they
Mm-hmm.
express this trade as like a sole BTC trade, right? Or a
Mm-hmm.
ETH BTC or a trade in the sense.
Yeah,
So
the
you
ratio.
can do, right, the ratios, or
Mm-hmm.
we call them pair trades
Mm-hmm.
for vocabulary. So the perspective is that because you can uh, take a loan in any asset, like right now it's like 200 pairs supported on Asgard. So in this
Mm-hmm.
200 pairs, it like you can take a loan in ETH, you can take a loan in BTC, you can take a loan in Bonk, right? So depending on you borrowing that asset, it creates this pure atomic way where, let's say, I took a loan in ETH and I bought a lot of SOL. This becomes a SOL collateral and a ETH liability position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And successively it becomes a SOL ETH long, right? So you're basically longing SOL relative to ETH, right?
Yep.
And this is very atomic in nature. In perps,
Mm-hmm.
you would need to open two positions, like a ETH
Positions. Yeah.
USDC, a SOL USDC, and then you need
Mm-hmm.
to pay 4 times, and it's very hard to manage that position because it's not like one position in that sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So these narrative driven strategies or rotation is something that this is one class of trades we unlock. I can go into detail other things as well.
That is very interesting. I do think this is very unique, is it? Like, especially on Solana. I
Yeah,
haven't really
so
seen. Yeah.
right. So these trades are really popular on centralized exchanges,
Mm-hmm.
like pair trades like Sol BTC, Sol ETH, or ETH BTC. They combined do like 30 billion a month on
Mm-hmm.
exchanges. So I feel like these introducing a new vector of like, you can do like one trader who has like we were onboarding last month. He wanted to do like a ETH BTC, and he was like, it's so funny that I'm doing this on Solana, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
exactly. But that's
so
what Solana is about, right? We want to
right,
build a layer that where you can trade anything, right? Not just
right,
Solana tokens.
right,
That's
right,
that's what RWAs are about. That's what this is
right,
about. Like, we want to
right,
bring everything on chain. So that's
right,
really cool. Internet capital markets.
right,
Now, when it comes to the product, so because people
right,
right now, they might be a bit confused, because if they go to Asgard right now, there's
right,
actually there's a product, right? And I think it's called Asgard
right,
Strategy. So
right,
it's basically just yield strategies that you can tap into. But this is not
correct,
really what we're kind of talking about here all the time, because
right,
we're talking about Asgard Trade,
right,
which is not accessible yet to the broader public. Is it able,
correct.
like, are you able to give like a sneak peek into how Asgard Trade looks like? Can we
Yeah.
see
So
the? Mm.
I can share a screen where
I can
let
also share
me,
it if you want. Like, I have and then you can just tell me. You can, well, up to you, however you prefer to do it.
yeah, let me just share screen.
Because it would be, I think it's good to get a better, like, now we talked a lot about the product. Yeah, I see it.
Right. Can you see my
But I think, yeah, I think we see it now on the stream. So we're
right,
looking at a trading terminal. It looks very familiar in terms of the UI.
right,
Everyone who trades tokens, they are familiar with this. What
Correct.
looks interesting is the pair, probably. What is this?
Right.
CB, BTC, USDC.
Right.
How many pairs do you
So,
have in there right now? Like, what can
so
you?
right. So there are like a bunch of trades which are
Mm,
live, which will be interesting. So you have a Sol WBTC as
mm,
well. You have a JLP USDC, right? These are
mm,
some pairs that we have basically integrated our yields product inside as well. So you can even do like Jito Sol here, right? In that sense,
okay.
and then you
Mm,
can also do like stablecoin AUSD. So you can do like stablecoin arbitrages here as well, like AUSD
wow.
USDC or
Okay.
syrup USDC as well. Like people like longing and shorting these assets because these are mean reverting. Sometimes they like depeg a little bit, but then
Mm-hmm.
you can just like balance it off, and you're just making
Mm.
like 10-20% every trade just to like balance these things off, right?
So you can wait a sec. This is like, for example, syrup right now. Uh, you need to remind me, but syrup has an APY, or
Yeah,
why is the chart going up? It's because syrup
yeah.
has an
So
APY baked
syrup,
into its token. Yeah.
right. So syrup has a 6% APY,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So what you can do is hey, I have $100 and
Mm-hmm.
I
You can
want
just put
to
some leverage. Oh,
like you can even do like 9x, right?
interesting.
And then basically the idea would be that hey, I have my $100 became like $800 here with a
Mm.
700, like sorry, $900 here with a
Yeah.
$800 debt. And
Mm-hmm.
this basically the net APY, because your syrup is
Mm.
already, it's getting a staking yield, it's
Yep.
getting a lending yield, right? All of that
Mm-hmm.
combined is greater than the USDC's borrow cost,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
basically, it gets you like 16% to hold this trade.
Mm-hmm.
Or like for the term that we are calling it is, this is a collateral backed position of syrup USDC. Uh,
Cool.
in that sense, so there we are working on simplifying this a lot. This is like the
Mm-hmm.
pro version of it, like very
Mm-hmm.
similar to on Tensor. There is a pro version and there is a light version, right?
Yeah.
So we are building that out as well. Hopefully it goes live very soon.
Mm.
But like it's one click. So like I was just like for example, you wanted to bet like on the momentum of Sol relative to BTC, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you can do is like you can just like, hey, I have a $50 position. I just want to like take a 2x. I'm so it's saying that I'm bullish on Sol 2x relative to BTC, and you can
Okay.
basically
Yeah.
uh, like understand, okay, what's happening in underneath the hood, what is the trade being created.
Cool.
And what you can also do is not only do Sol BTC, you can do like inf BTC as well, right? So let's say
Mm.
it's like a inf ETH trade, and here you
Very
can
exotic.
basically like take a long, and depending on like right now ETH borrowings APY is very high, like
Mm.
because like probably these structurally there is more lending yields to be given out. So what you can do is like you can literally short this right now and get paid 20%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this unlocks a new kind of way of doing these things,
Mm.
uh, like of like, hey, I feel like ETH uh, has more momentum right now for from DATs and ETFs and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sol is going to come up, but it's going to come up once ETH runs its cycle, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let me just short it right now, and I profit on the short as well as I make 20% taking this trade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like the hardcore Solana maxis, they can just go full leverage on the Sol ETH ratio,
Right,
and
right,
and
right,
and and bet
right.
that Sol is gonna win.
And
Interesting.
of the opinion is like if Asgard succeeds, the idea would be if the Sol and ETH people are fighting between themselves, this is a venue
Mm-hmm.
for them to debate. Like put your money where your mouth is, long Sol ETH or short Sol ETH, in that
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think one thing that I see when looking at this and understanding Asgard, and I'm sure other people that are listening to this thinking the same, you're talking about pro and light, because it
Right.
is fair, it can be complex to navigate. Not the UI, actually, the UI is fairly straightforward, in my opinion. I think
Right.
it's good. but to know what to trade and when to trade, like it's not, like you go on Jupiter Preps, you have like 3 options. You kind of,
Right.
you click some buttons. You can't do a lot of things
Yeah.
wrong, but you can actually come up with very interesting strategies. This reminds me from a concept, obviously very different product. It reminds me of what's happening in the Meteora DLMM kind of community, because it's a
Correct.
very difficult product, but people come up with
Right.
very creative ways to earn money with it. So I
Right.
believe that is just a little bit of reflection on what you said. I believe it's going to be very important for Asgard to have people dissect their strategies and share them as well, and talk about them on socials, and because there's a lot of interesting things you can do with Asgard, but you have
Right.
to get inspired almost to
Oh,
know what to
definitely.
do with it.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean,
that would be interesting.
like we've manually onboarded like 60 people, like on a one-on-one call, and then we
Cool.
had like people coming into our Telegram groups. So we felt like, okay, there's like as Paul Graham says, do things, don't scale. And then we started
Yeah,
realizing, okay, like some of these ideas which you see on the product are literally ideas from these power traders, that hey, can your protocol do this, on, and can you provide this, and so on. So we definitely need a lot of education, and that's why like the community building process is starting, like with our Discord coming up with like a lot of writing bounties, and a lot of like the people trying to understand where like these podcasts are a way to also educate the market that okay, this is live,
true.
these are things that you can do. And then obviously like once like I'm going to sort of become like this person who is just like posting a strategy every week that hey, you can do
Yeah,
this, right, in
yeah.
that sense. So you're absolutely right that a little complicated product needs to have safe defaults that hey, this is the one
Mm,
thing that you can do here. And then over time, that once the person comes into this place, then they can like take on other things as well, right?
yeah,
Like okay, now what Asgard can do.
I
So
think that makes sense.
yeah.
Especially for the beginning, once the product goes live and everything, if you build something similar like the DLMM army, the Meteor DLMM army, like for Asgard, the Asgard army,
Right.
where they share some thoughts and so on in Discord, maybe on Twitter, that would be probably beneficial.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm getting ahead of myself. That's your business. Tell
Right.
us more about the timeline, Prastu. We're coming to an end now. We need to wrap up soon.
Right.
But I'd like to end with a bit more flavor when it comes to okay, when can we trade this? Can you give us more dates? And if you want, you can also talk a little bit about your funding rounds, whatever you can already tell us. And then
Right.
everyone's going to just look out for the official announcements.
Right. It's very hard to give a precise date. I can give a range of it.
Yep.
So we are expecting to launch the product somewhere around like the first week of December.
Mm-hmm.
We are like hopefully by like the end of November we have everything ready.
Cool.
Like we're just like stress testing the platform with a lot of load right now.
Mm-hmm.
And on like the fundraise announcement, so we are expecting that to go live by next week, end or next to next week, depending on like how the things rally around the product.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's excited, like our power users are excited who have been like users of protocol, like including Joe who
Mm-hmm.
arranged all of this podcast to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
The
Shout out
fun
to Joe.
story is, yeah, like fun story is he was a user who became the first angel of Asgard. And
Nice.
then he was
It's
like,
a good
hey,
trend.
I love working with the protocol, like using the
Mm-hmm.
protocol. Is this something that I can join the team?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a, like a whole story come true in the sense of like people
Cool.
liking the product and then joining the team, which is very rare that it happens otherwise.
Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah.
right. So
It's a
I am
good
of the
sign.
opinion that like building the initial communities like takes a while, because you kind
Mm,
of like arranging the Lego blocks. Okay, why is this working? If it's even connecting, if it's even needed in the first place, right? Like we're changing like the UI we showed you. We're changing the UI because it's actually not long and short. It's actually buy sell things, right?
mm. Yeah.
So we got a
With
bit
leverage.
confused, right, with
Mm,
the positioning. as well. So we're just like thinking through all these ideas of like, as soon as it resonated with the crowd, that okay, now I get it, because it's not long shot, it's a buy with credit and a sell with credit facility, right?
Right.
So this was all because we had a community that is giving us feedback in terms of this is wrong, this is good, I like this, okay, I don't understand like this, and so on. So hopefully we scale this up in the coming days.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Prasud, I think it was great to learn a little bit about it. I think we did a good overall general summary of Asgard for people that have no idea. After listening to this, I hope, dear listener, you know what this is about. And everyone should look out for end of November, beginning of December, maybe up to Breakpoint. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some announcements from Asgard. I think we can look forward to the Asgard trade launch. I think your logo still needs to be revealed, so that is something else that we're expecting to see. But until then, all the best, Prasud, for your venture. Definitely going to check out the product further as well once it's live. I'm already tinkering on the beta myself a little bit. And if people want to learn more about what Asgard is doing, I think AsgardFi is the Twitter handle. So very easy to find on Twitter. So you guys can give them a follow to stay in there. Thanks for joining, Prasud. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Simon, for inviting me. And I'll catch you at Breakpoint. And if the listeners are coming in, I'll be at Breakpoint speaking as well as would love to jam in person.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Cool. All right. Prasud, before you go, there's a cut. We're still live. But we're gonna cut it obviously into an episode for YouTube and everything. I think we covered everything. I hope it was. I feel like we.
Right.
We did a good.
I mean, you're like a great interviewer. So
thank you. Appreciate it. I hope. It's my job, right? So if I can't do that, then I should switch my job. The only thing I need from you is to keep your upload page open. So if you go on streamyard.com/upload, you can do that after you left the studio as well. It will tell you the state of the upload, and you just need to keep that tab open until it's done. I don't know if it's there now already. Maybe after you leave the live stream.
After I leave the okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then you go on that page, just refresh it, and then just stay there until it's full, because we need the local footage in the high quality. Cool. All right. That's it. I think we're good to go.
I'll catch you at Breakpoint.
Yes, sir. I'll see you there. Bye, Prasud.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Awesome. All right, guys. We're done. We're done here with the interview. Thank you so much for joining the live as well. I still need to do my technical analysis because I screwed up that part. I'll probably run it now real quick with screen share. I need to re-yap everything I yapped about at the beginning of this live stream. And then my video friend, Josh, has to fucking find all the little clips in the stream, but that is okay. So if you're still here with us on the live, and if you want to get one more deep dive on the markets and you haven't heard it when I was yapping about it earlier, or you've heard it but you haven't seen the screen, then you can stay here. If not, I wish you a good day. You can tune out, but I will live stream for another 10 minutes talking about the charts yet again. If you saw the beginning a few hours ago, you can actually go probably, because I'm going to say the same things, just with screen share now, hopefully. So let me set that up and then make sure that I have the screen also here on the stream. All right, screen share is here. If I go here, you see it, awesome. So I can pull over TradingView. And what else? I could also open up Flash Trade actually, and we can do a quick live trade, because this I forgot as well earlier. Sorry guys, too much things cooking in my head. You know how it is, right? But I got you guys. I'll do that again. So we're going to do the quick intro for the TA session, and then we're going to hop into the technical analysis, and we're going to look at the charts, because why not do it all over again? I have to warn my video friend for this though. Sorry, Josh. Okay. Are you ready? I'm ready. Am I ready? Wait a second. Yes, I'm ready. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the coziest part of Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers. Markets, prices, charts, and technical analysis. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about Solana. I'm going to share my screen. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure to leave us a subscribe and like the video, and also drop a comment what you think is going to happen next in the markets. Are we going to see another top, or are we going down? Because if we're going down, then we're going to head into a small bear market potentially. And I want to talk mainly in today's episode here about one indicator that is highly underrated and super useful. It is the relative strength index, the RSI. And the RSI on the weekly Bitcoin chart right now is sitting at 38. What the fuck does that mean? The RSI tells you if an asset is oversold or overbought in the market. There's a range between 70 and 30 on the RSI chart. If the price stays in that range, it is usually neutral. If we are above 70, it's overbought, and below 30, it's oversold. So far in the history of Bitcoin, we have seen the price touching below the 30 RSI in the weekly chart only 3 times in the whole history of Bitcoin, only 3 times. And that was in 2015, that was in 2018, and that was in 2022. I don't think we're going to see it now dip below the 30 RSI. There would be bear market. That would be sub 70,000 Bitcoin, pretty sure, to reach that low of an RSI. I don't think we're there yet because there's just too many bullish news right now in the world, not only for Solana, but also for Bitcoin and for crypto overall. The US government just talked about the Bitcoin treasury again and how much Bitcoin they want to accumulate, 5% of the total supply. There's a case against that, by the way. I don't know if we want them to have so much Bitcoin, but that's a different story. But the mere fact that they talk about this, insane. I think there was the gathering of the Saudi government together with Trump, and I think it must have been the crown prince or one higher official in the Saudi government, and he was referring to Kalshi, a crypto prediction market, on stage when he was talking about his outfit because people were betting what he was wearing. So like these things are being adopted, that's what I'm saying. And crypto is going mainstream and ETFs are out and institutions are buying, and I don't even have to give you the full story here. But RSI below 30, I don't think so. On the daily chart though, and I'm staying with Bitcoin for another 2 minutes here. On the daily chart, the RSI dipped below 30 in the current pullback here. And let's just do a little analysis of what happened whenever Bitcoin did that. Last time we dipped under 30 was here on February this year when we saw a bigger pullback. The price chart made a low. The RSI made a significant low. The price chart made 1, 2 more lower lows and 1, 2 higher lows on the RSI. That is a bullish divergence on the chart, right? On the RSI versus the price chart. And TLDR of the scenario, after we saw the dip below 30 RSI, Bitcoin went up again. In this case, it took about 2 weeks, right? Or actually, yeah, it took almost a month to really get that move up again. So that was quite long. Looking back in 2024, August, RSI made a low below 30. We saw no other low, but we basically saw a retest of almost of that same region, but the RSI was higher. Again, bullish divergence and price move up significantly. Before that, same thing, RSI broke through, one more dip, price move up. Let's do one more. We went back to 2023. The price made a low. The RSI made a significant low. We're all the way down here at 1819, heavily oversold. There was quite a drop here from 30K Bitcoin to 25K. And then price stayed low in confusion for a while, but RSI kept going higher. And we saw a big pump, right? So price went up again. I could do this over and over in the history of Bitcoin. And the essence of what I'm saying is that every time Bitcoin is tapping into the oversold territory of the RSI, it would be almost stupid to not open a spot position. And that is no financial advice. That is simply me calling people stupid if they don't open a spot position when Bitcoin dips below 30 RSI. Because historically, it has been going up after either one more low or directly. I don't know that. Actually, I don't know nothing. But one thing I know for sure, though, is that Bitcoin did that in the past. I can only report on historical data here. So we saw that break between the 30 RSI here already on the chart. The trend line here has been broken a little bit, but RSI also stopped right there to decline further. Bitcoin ended at 88,700. Is the low in? I don't know. I will take the lower time frame of the Solana price to show you why I don't know yet. Because we right now completed the three-wave move to the downside here. Only 3 waves so far on the Solana chart. Let's see on the 1 hour chart, maybe it's a bit more visible. So basically what happened is we did a 1, a 2, and now we did the 3 right here. Okay, that's the 3 in brackets if you are having the visual in front of you as well. So down here, we ended at $128, $129. Also, by the way, RSI oversold and bullish divergence. That's a different story, but that also happened right now on the Solana chart. And after the 3rd wave comes the exactly 4th wave. So we're going up right now again in a 4th wave, and a 4th wave correction usually happens in a 3-wave move. So there would be an A, B, and a C. The B wave can overshoot, doesn't have to overshoot. It did not overshoot, but it almost retested before. It got stopped out at the 0.886 fib level, which also keeps the yellow scenario alive, which would mean that there's a chance right now to actually turn around from here, because we see a 1 in yellow, a 2, and a 3. We need to go a bit higher than that right now. And we would need to see a retest of the 1, maybe, so the pullback in the 4. And then we would need to see a breakthrough this level here of the 3rd wave. And then I could basically reduce the probability of one more low significantly. But we would have to see this play out in that way, how I beautifully drew right now on the chart. If we don't see that, if we go down from here, then the red scenario stays more feasible, which is right now the case. That would mean we're going down in one more leg right now. After the ABC, we're going down into the 5th wave. And the 5th wave would break below the 128.7, and it would end maybe somewhere in the range, maybe 123. Why 123? Because that is actually the extension for the C wave here, if I'm not mistaken. There's so much going on these charts, but I think, yeah, that should be the extension of the C wave that we're tracking from the A, B, C. That is the larger correction that I'm tracking here, that started all the way up here on $250, A, B, C, down to the downside, and the C wave, the 100% extension of the C wave is at $123. So it doesn't sound too unrealistic that we see actually one more low on the chart, which would bring us approximately that level. And then from there, we could turn around. Probably Bitcoin would also print one more low then. That would also mean we have the chance for either a higher high on the RSI or maybe one more significant break below it. It is what it is. I can't help you more than that with the facts at hand. I hope it helps a little bit to clarify where we are in the markets, and it helps you to make better trading decisions, or no at all. That is also totally fine, because right now it is not easy to trade. We don't have the total we don't have a good confirmation yet that the low is in. Let's put it that way. But we know for sure that we are in an oversold territory with a fear and greed and index below 15. I'm pretty sure it's still there, with an RSI that has been broken under 30 on the Bitcoin chart. So everything is pointing to, a scenario where an opportunity might arise. And if you don't think Bitcoin is going to 0, then right now could be actually a good chance to tap in whatever asset you want to buy. But that is up to you. No financial advice. As always, I hope it helps a little bit. Make sure to also check our other videos on our YouTube account, because we are giving you Solana news and updates, macro news and updates, and exciting interviews with builders in the space. So head over to our YouTube account, leave a subscribe, and like this video as well, because it helps the algorithm to show these clips to more people and onboard them to Solana. That's the mission. join the mission. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one. Peace out. All right, stream. I feel like I said 10 times goodbye already, so I'm going to say goodbye right now to the stream as well. Even though Super Simon is here because he supports Simons, as you should. If you don't support Simons, that would be self-hate. We don't want to see that, my friend. Super Simon. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up. We got more shit to do, so I wish you a good rest of your day and a good rest of the week. Stay safe out there, and tune in again for the next episode of Solar Brothers Live, which is happening on Monday. And before that, there's going to be another live stream where I'm interviewing Super Simon. I'm laughing because he doesn't want to, but I'll try, guys. I get him for you. See ya. Bye bye.